there, and today I'm going to give you 15 tips for building your confidence and fluency when you're speaking English. So the first tip is to get involved in a hobby. This is a great way to improve your English as well as your general well-being. Whether it's a sport or art or craft or baking, it can be a great way to meet like-minded people, and you'll always be more confident when you're talking about something you love and are passionate about. The next tip is singing. If you like music, try singing along to your favourite songs with the lyrics. You can find the lyrics on YouTube or lyricstraining.com, for example. The next tip is to help others. So being kind and compassionate to others can be a great way to boost your own confidence and practice your English at the same time. You could volunteer in a charity shop or in local classes or at a food bank, for example. And raising money for a charity you support, for example, can also be a positive way to develop your English skills. There are lots of conversation groups around the city. So in Dundee, for example, we have the International Cafe or the Spanish Intercambio Night at Duke's Corner. And this is a great way to meet people and to practice your speaking with sympathetic listeners in a supportive environment. So I definitely recommend that. The next tip is to learn. So learning something new can be a great way to build your confidence. So doing a free course, for example, an online course, will not only enhance your CV, but it will help you to develop your skills and vocabulary in a possible area for future study, for example. FutureLearn website has some great free short courses, and there's no exams. You can study at your own pace, for example, even just for a couple of hours a week. Excuse me. And the next tip is social media. So although Facebook has its advantages, it has its disadvantages, it can also be a great way to find out about local events, what's going on, your hobbies, your interests, follow the news, and just to make contacts. There's also a lot of English language pages you can follow, such as the British Council. You can read articles, you can watch videos, and you can post comments. Other sites like LinkedIn, Pinterest and Instagram are also effective ways to interact with other people in English. So I do recommend them. The next tip is to write a journal. So writing a journal every day or as often as you can be really helpful in building your confidence. Nobody will see it except you, so you can write anything you want. Write about whatever pops into your head. Describe what you did that day, how you felt, etc. Try to focus on at least 3 positive things that happened in the day, and after a while you'll begin to find it easier. The next tip is just step by step, so take small steps. Try to set yourself small challenges, then reward yourself with something nice when you achieve them. The challenge could be anything that takes you out of your comfort zone. So anything from making a phone call to attending an event or party where you need to speak to people in English. If you have kids, why not invite some of their friends over and practice your English with them? Fun occasions such as Halloween and birthdays can be especially nice. So, if you have kids, why not have a go at that? Now, I'm not a fan of gossip magazines, but I do recommend reading magazines because I think that these can help you to pick up lots of useful idiomatic language and vocabulary, which is really important for sounding natural and fluent. So I buy the National Geographic and the Healthy magazine. Psychology's magazine is a good one. The BBC Focus magazine is nice. That's this one. And I've recently discovered these magazines, which are very nice. So Breathe magazine and this one called The Simple Things. But the important thing is to find something that you're interested in. My next tip is to read aloud. So practice reading aloud on your own with nobody listening to you. You can video yourself or record yourself on your phone and then reflect on on how you sound when you watch it back and be honest with yourself. Listening to audiobooks and reading along is also a good way to develop your fluency. The next tip is kind of 2 in 1. So the first thing is to learn chunks, sort of fixed phrases that you can use in everyday situations, and practice them as often as you can until they begin to come to you automatically. So an example of a chunk is I'm fine, thanks, and you, or something like no thank you, I'm full. And that sort of leads into the art of small talk in English. So if you learn a few phrases and expressions that you can use in everyday situations, for example, at a bus stop, sort of talking about the weather, for example, this will really help you to feel more confident and more natural. The last 2 tips are to have a laugh, so try to find the fun and humour in learning English. Don't be afraid to make mistakes or laugh at yourself if you get something wrong. Watch comedy, try to learn a few jokes and make it fun, and try to remember that nobody is perfect. And finally, it's really important to speak up, to be honest and tell people the truth about how you feel. And you'll find that people are generally very kind and understanding if you tell them that you're feeling a bit anxious or shy or scared. And don't be afraid to ask people to slow down or to repeat things if you don't understand the first time. So that's the 50 tips. I hope you found them useful, and see you next time.